Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new series called CineTalkies. We're talking about different sorts of movies, TV series, and all media related stuff, actually. So, we already have this Facebook page called CinemaKothon. Um, it's in Bengali, which translates to talking about cinema. And that's what we do there. Like, I post movie and series reviews and different kinds of stuff, mostly in Bengali and sometimes in English also. So we have been requested to do some movie reviews in English so that we can have our global audience have a take on what we're doing. And yeah, so that's for our kind of global audience. So we can reach out to them and share our thoughts and opinions with them. So in this series, what we'll be doing is that mostly we'll be reviewing different movies and TV series, and those can be like from different countries, like those can be Hollywood movies or series, or can be from Bangladesh, that's my country, or from India, or other movie industries across the world. And as suggest us different movies and TV series that you want us to review. So I'm Amit Kumarnath, your host and anchor today. And since this is the first video of this new series called CineTalkies, we'll be starting with none other than Tenet, which was one of the most anticipated movies to be released in this year. There are like lots of other movies that were expected to be released in this year, like the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, and also Marvel movies like Black Widow. But due to the pandemic, most of the movies have been like postponed. Some of the anticipated movies have been released in online streaming platforms like Disney's Mulan. But Tenet is probably the only like most anticipated movie that has been released in the theater during this very uncertain times. And Christopher Nolan is the movie maker who has taken that risk. But so has that risk paid off? Like these sorts of things we'll be discussing in today's session. And the environment in the movie theaters now, like during this new normal kind of thing. So we'll move to the review of the Tenet, but let's first talk about the current scenario or the environment in the movie theaters. So I went to the nearest theater, that's an AMC here in Tallahassee. So along with four other friends, and I don't know if that was fortunate or unfortunate. There were like in the theater we are the only five people there. So yeah, it was kind of good for us. Like we didn't have to worry much about like mixing up or meeting other people because there were nobody else there, and all the stuff there were like very helpful, friendly, and all of us were wearing masks. So yeah, we maintained all the protocols that were needed to go there. So almost an empty, kind of an empty theater. We were there and we enjoyed the movie in an empty theater. So that was not much of a problem. And I guess with the situation improving, many other people right now. So yeah, so that's the new normal. And other than that, other than nobody being there, everything was the same. The cinema hall environment and everything else were kind of the same. So let's move to the review of Tenet. Like, how did we like the movie, or what we expected from the movie, what we ultimately got from the movie, and everything else. So let's move to the review of Tenet. So Tenet has been directed by Christopher Nolan. He's one of the best directors of our time and generation, of course. And all of us have seen like his creations. Of course, we have seen Inception and Memento, The Prestige, and all of his famous movies. And also he redefined kind of genre with his Dark Knight trilogy. So Tenet is Christopher Nolan's latest movie, and like most other original Christopher Nolan movies, Tenet deals with a very unique and new concept. It basically, the basic concept here is time inversion, like going back in time or changing the time, but not in the way we know, like not time travel in the common uh, way that we know it. It's time inversion. It's a bit different from time travel, and I can go into more details because it will like probably give some spoilers. I won't be talking about any spoilers in this review. So let's get into the movie. So Christopher Nolan's Tenet. How was the movie? In a word, it's difficult to describe the experience of watching a Christopher Nolan movie in a theater. I am not sure if Christopher Nolan movies, like, of course, it's a visual spectacle. You have to watch the movie in a theater to see the masterclass that Nolan does when he's presenting something on the screen. But at the same time, the concept is so much convoluted and complicated that it's very difficult to follow at times. And sometimes I personally I wish that I could go back a few shots so I could like connect the dots and better understand what I missed previously. But that's of course not possible in theaters. That's possible in when you are watching the movie in your home. But of course, it's a movie that has to be seen in a very good print if you are even watching it in your home, so that you can like understand and see everything that's happening there. So the lead actors of Tenet are John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Kenneth Branagh. From India, there's Dimple Kapadia, and the female lead here is Elizabeth Debicki. So let's start talking about the acting first, and then going to the story. So the lead here is John David Washington. He gives a commendable performance, and for the first half of this movie, he seems a bit like clueless, and we are seeing everything from his point of view. So the audience also feels a bit probably distracted. But as time progresses, he gains more confidence, and like uh, with him, we unfold all the mysteries that have not been clear to us before. Robert Pattinson was probably my most favorite actor in this movie. He was very good in his portrayal. He had to play a very crucial and important role, and he did justice to his role, I'd say. Dimple Kapadia, coming from India, she's a very capable actress, and she was given, if not ample, but enough screen time to make her presence felt, and she did a very good job, I would say. Kenneth Branagh, who is playing the negative guy in this movie, I felt at times his portrayal not to be that much convincing. His motivations weren't always clear and very much interesting, but he was okay. I would just say he was just all right. Elizabeth Debicki, who plays the female lead in this movie, her role is very important in terms of the context of the movie, but her role is actually a bit fluctuating. That it felt to me like at times she plays the role very well, but a few scenes and spots thought she was a bit shaky. But overall, it was a good performance. So the cast, like almost all other Christopher Nolan movies, provided a commendable performance, and you would enjoy their performance throughout the movie. But let's come to the story. So we can go into much details of the story because of the complexity of the plot, as well as not giving any spoilers. So it's difficult to talk about Christopher Nolan movies without talking about a few spoilers, actually. But yeah, I won't go into that. So the concept here is time inversion. John David Washington, whose role doesn't have a name in this movie, that's what like he's called, and he calls himself, and he tries to unfold some confusions, some mysteries surrounding this organization, and like some actions from some individuals which can ultimately change the fate of the world. So lots of things are at a stake here. But this is the problem, actually. Like I mentioned before, the motivation of the villain didn't seem to be so interesting and intriguing that it can become something that can ultimately change the fate of the universe or the world. So it's a bit not very convincing, I would say. Other than that, the complicated idea of time inversion has been presented in the way on a screen that only Christopher Nolan probably can do, and it's wonderful to look at. But at times, it's very complicated to understand anything that's happening on the screen. But after some time, you get a sense of what's happening. But had to like when I came back from home after watching the movie, I had to go through lots of articles and videos to understand what had been actually happening. And still, there are like lots of unanswered questions. But that's what you expect from a Christopher Nolan movie. Not everything would be spoon fed to you. There would be lots of unanswered questions that you can come up with your own interpretations. Like I said, Robert Pattinson plays his role very well in this movie, and the life of this movie Tenet, I would say, lies in these two actors. The way Robert Pattinson and John David Washington play each other, and they have a like very nice chemistry between them, and they, as a unit, they work very well, and they are the ones who carry the movie on their shoulders. So yeah, you'll probably enjoy their camaraderie most in this movie. And like I said, like in a Christopher Nolan movie, there's nothing to be said about the cinematography, the execution, the editing, the pace. Almost all of these things are always kind of perfect, people. But one complaint that I have with Tenet is that since the last few movies of Christopher Nolan, I would say from Dunkirk and also Interstellar, it feels like Nolan is getting somewhat like isolated or disconnected from his core audience. He always makes these movies that are like high on concept, like we saw Inception, Memento, Prestige, and all of these movies had like unique things to offer, but at the same time they were presented in such a way that the audience could still connect to those. But what I've been feeling with his last few films, like Dunkirk didn't have a very complicated plot or anything, but it was just, I didn't feel like a Christopher Nolan movie to me. And for Interstellar, it had too many complicated concepts, but amazingly presented on screen by, of course, Christopher Nolan. But at the same time, a bit isolating for the audience. So the audience has to like do a lot of study after watching the movie to understand the movie. I don't know with that, but the feeling of isolation or getting isolated from the movie is getting like stronger with each passing movie of Christopher Nolan. And in Tenet, it actually grows more, I would say. Like at times you feel like I don't have a clue what's happening on screen. And it takes like kind of forever to actually make a point that what has been happening on a screen. So Christopher Nolan is probably emphasizing more on storytelling from his point of view, what he wants to say in his movie. But at the same time, I do feel that he needs to focus at least a bit to or cater to at least what the audience thinks. Or I think he should probably give, because he is one of the greatest directors of our time, not because he makes these complicated movies. There are directors like David Lynch and David Cronenberg who makes these amazing movies which understandable to a very small section of the viewers. But we don't have a problem with those movies because that's what we expect from a David Lynch or a David Cronenberg movies. But that's not what we always expect from a David Fincher or a Christopher Nolan movie. We expect to be amazed, but at the same time, we expect to understand the movie while watching it. So that's something Christopher Nolan should probably keep in mind for his next future projects. Overall, it was an interesting experience to watch a Christopher Nolan movie in theater. And yeah, Tenet is Tenet of course is not one of his best movies, but yeah, it's a treat to watch in theaters. And if not possible to go to the theaters due to the pandemic, at least wait for some time to get a very good print of Tenet, collect it, watch it on at home with all the comfort, and explore all the ideologies and all the uh, concepts and all the theories that you can explore in the internet movie. I hope you will enjoy watching the movie. So yeah, this is our new series, CineTalkies. Stay with us. We'll be posting more videos and more reviews for you. So thank you. See you in our next video.